Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We take a look at your weekend forecast for New Year's weekend, December 29th through January 1st. Things are looking a little less, a little more wintry, a little less dreary after today. Still dreary today, still not great. But tomorrow, we start to usher in some cooler air, not cold by any stretch of the imagination, but cooler air. And that will allow for some of those, a little bit of leftover. It looks like we're going to swing through a little bit of a trough front that will bring a little bit of light snow accumulating on basically not many places except for maybe some of the higher elevations, western facing slopes. And even there, we're only talking coating to an inch, but at least a little bit more. Most of us will see some flurries as that passes through. That'll at least make it feel like it's actually the end of December and not the end of, say, or the middle of November. So what's going on here? All week we've had this cutoff low. It was back on Christmas, it was dropping a lot of snow in the northern plains. It has continued to very slowly meander east. It brought showers up the coast, and then it has continued to provide us with clouds and kind of the mist that we've had over the last couple of days and the light rain. We're going to take a look. There's not much happening on radar, but there's still a little bit misty out there today. Kind of dreary, not as bad as yesterday. Tomorrow will be better, and you can kind of just make out, and we'll see it on the radar as well, this front that is draped across the Great Lakes that's headed in our direction. And as that starts to approach, the moisture, the surface moisture that's left will start to be squeezed out of the atmosphere, and temperatures will cool, and that'll allow for whatever has been liquid to transition over to some more wintry precipitation. Like I said, mostly tomorrow morning. I think if we have a period of slicker travel, it won't be slick in most places. But if you got to go Route 11 over the mountain, if you've got to go Route 9 over the mountain, if you're up on 155 in Mount Holly, places like that, Route 4 up by Killington, places like that, you could see some slick travel briefly. You just got to be aware of it. I wouldn't be too concerned, but just be aware of the potential tomorrow morning for a little bit of slick travel. Here is your radar. You can see that we have kind of one surface front coming through here, attached with low pressure surface low. Here's what's left of that kind of remnant upper level low with a little bit of a surface low with it. Here's the front that's ushering in some colder air from the north. And you can see along this kind of extended boundary from our surface low, which is detached from the upper level low, there's a little bit of precipitation. And when this front approaching it, it's kind of squeezing the moisture. There's abundant surface moisture. There's not a lot of upper level support for any of this, but the front here is providing a little uplift from that. And there's a lot of surface moisture. So as that happens, it allows for some precipitation to reform. So even though we're dry basically today, except for the drizzle, tomorrow morning we could have a period of light snow. It's only going to last an hour or two probably, and it won't be heavy enough to really cause any issues. Most of us will just see kind of snow in the air that's melting on the ground. But like I said, some of those higher elevations could see up to an inch. Let's take a look a little bit closer into home, and you can see there are a few showers around. Most of this is not really much to do. A little bit of snow finally for northern Maine. So some parts of New England are finally getting some snow as again, we start to get some cooler air in from Canada. We're going to look at temperatures in a little bit. This is not Arctic air. We're going to see there really is no Arctic air, at least currently over Canada, not built yet. So we're still waiting for an outbreak of Arctic air in Canada, which then would give us the opportunity for it. But you can see as the front moves, it's kind of triggering some showers and thunderstorms kind of along that frontal boundary. And that'll swing through over basically early morning. So I would think the tough travel time, anytime between like 7 and 10 o'clock in the morning, you're just going to be sort of aware of it. That would be the most likely time. By noon, you should definitely be all set. And it shouldn't be that bad. Most locations, no problem at all. Here's temperatures. You can see, okay, we are cooling down. Again, this is by no means cold weather for central Canada in the end of December. Could easily be we could be looking at highs below zero this time of year up there, but definitely a little bit colder. And to our west, we've got a lot of 20s and 30s across the northern plains. Again, not real cold for this time of year, but a little bit cooler. We're starting to lose a little bit of our marine influence across the western United States. Still a lot of what this big storm has done is it's really mixed the atmosphere very well, and so you see a lot of uniform temperatures, which is why it's basically the same temperature here across New England that it is across the Gulf Coast. So where it's kind of a lot of these places, this is quite cold and dreary weather for them. New Orleans is low 40s and kind of rain and things like that along the Gulf Coast. Not good weather for them, but it is kind of very warm weather. At least we're quite warm weather for us this time of year. And some of that is that big mixing of the atmosphere that happens with a storm when it gets cut off like that. It just sort of makes everybody the same, all the way from New Orleans, all the way to New England. So there you go. Let's take a look at the actual forecast. Sprinkles today, more like drizzle than sprinkles, in the low 40s. Overnight tonight, we cool back. We start to cool down, mid 30s, kind of falling through. Temperatures probably in the mid 30s to start tomorrow and continuing to kind of come down, cool down as some of those, whatever's left of the showers changes to flurries by daybreak, I think. Overnight, Saturday night into Sunday, we fall back into the 20s, and then definitely a cup of sun for the first time in a long time, Sunday and New Year's Day, so New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Not entire sun. There's going to be some clouds around, but definitely much better. Temperatures around freezing, so this is still maybe slightly above normal, but a lot closer to normal. Low temperatures not too bad either. So your New Year's evening, you're going to be in the, as we get some clouds, I think, with another kind of front that won't drop any precipitation, but it's sort of moving in our direction Sunday night, will give us enough clouds that we see that it'll hold temperatures pretty warm by New Year's Eve standards. So if you're doing anything outside New Year's Eve, should be not too bad. So that's a good thing. And then as we take a look just at those weekend highlights, after a gloomy week, the weather will improve this weekend with sun for the second half of the weekend. Drizzle transitions to flurries Saturday with a period of light snow Saturday morning, up to an inch of snow on western facing slopes of the greens above 1,500 feet. Driving and then over the mountains Saturday morning could be slick. Like I said, I think by 11 o'clock noon, you should be fine tomorrow. And it may not even really be that bad, but just keep an eye out for that. Cool, but by no means frigid for New Year's Eve. Thanks for supporting the channel by watching the videos. If you want to make sure you don't miss any of the videos, subscribe to the channel. You can hit the bell as well. That'll help make sure you don't miss any of my videos as they come out, as the weather gets impactful. I have more videos out. Haven't had a lot of that so far this winter, except for the heavy rains. But there's a chance at some point we'll see some snow. And so when that happens, make sure you don't miss any of those videos by subscribing. I'm going to give a quick shout out to my patrons. They help support what I do here at the West River Weather Guy. If you want to become a patron, there's a link in the description below that explains how to do that. And yeah, the patrons really help just make this channel happen. So thank you to them. All right, I'll be back on Tuesday because of the long weekend with a look at your work week forecast. Again, that's Tuesday instead of Monday next week.